in the Gaza genocide have from the very beginning been women. Papa, I feel. Papa, is it your expression? For almost 2 years now, but with important precedents and significance before, I mean, the Western media have always tended to use the narrative or the point of departure provided by Israel, the Israeli government, the Israeli army, and with leaving very little time and space to recenter the discussion on what today clearly are the victims. And I'm not saying, and I'm not justifying acts of violence that Palestinians might have committed against Israel, but this is not a conflict. There is no symmetry there, and media have pushed for a false equivalence over and over, times and times again. The other thing is that, like in any genocide, the local media tend to play a dirty role. It has happened in former Yugoslavia, it has happened in Bosnia, it has happened in Rwanda, it has happened in Germany and in other places dominated by Nazi fascism during the Holocaust. And still, what is shocking, that this time the dehumanization of the Palestinians has been amplified. This is not just a matter of Israeli media, has been amplified by Western media. So I've called for an investigation, for an inquiry over the role of Western media in fabricating, really manufacturing consensus so that the public opinion could first of all hear first and foremost Israel's narrative and then support that. And in conclusion, I think that this is the end of journalism, because journalism should entail a minimum of ethics, looking at the facts, offering some analysis instead of offering the microphone to power. And this is what has happened in recent months. There have been no foreign correspondents, which doesn't mean that there have been no journalists. In fact, 220 journalists have been killed. And just what has happened to journalism, especially from the perspective of Gaza, is shocking. There have been no foreign correspondents, which doesn't mean that there have been no journalists. In fact, 220 journalists have been killed. And just for using the pictures and relying on the information provided by the journalists who have been slaughtered, those in the capitals of Europe or other Western countries should have been more respectful. Instead, there's been a lack of solidarity, which is appalling. Very little denunciation. And again, you see this condescending attitude and this arrogant posture toward the other. And yeah, I mean, the fact that truth and the truth tellers have been a clear target. And I've conducted myself some investigations. I've seen the investigations also carried out by my colleague, the Special Rapporteur on Freedom of Expression, that clearly demonstrate that certain people have been targeted because of their reporting. And this not just in Gaza. I mean, the repression of journalism, ethical journalism, has happened in the Western world. But what is even more reprehensible than censorship, it's self-censorship, is the fact that journalists, especially journalists with a strong positionality, achieved people even in their 60s, in mainstream, I mean, big media broadcasters have decided not to talk about the truth, because of convenience or because of fear, and this is really outrageous. It's such a betrayal. Al Jazeera has been closed in Israel, has been closed in the West Bank. I don't know if it reopened, and it's a very bad sign. I've been extremely critical of this. It's never a good sign when a media broadcaster, especially like Al Jazeera, when it comes, I don't know what are the reasons behind it, but it's worrisome, and I always hope that these decisions are reversed.